Call the meeting to order. Is there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Not by me.
Need a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approve the minutes, September 18th.
Motion to approve said minutes.
I'll second.
Any corrections? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approve the claims.
I looked through them. The number I had was 309, 538.22. 309, 538.22. No drainage.
Anybody else got
Different.
Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried. General public concerned.
I have one quick, thank you. A lot of times people don't realize when their county government works for them. And we had a tree fall across the road. And we went home and I'm sure the sheriff came out, but the county guys came out and pushed the tree up the road, so everybody was safe. And then they came back later when Kurt was cleaning up and said, do you need any help getting that tree out of the ditch? So anyway, good job. And I just want to say, like, from the conservation board point of view, anytime we have something going on with the county engineers, they're like, we're all in this together. How can we help? And it's not to say they do everything we ask, not a pushover. Ben's got his, he's got his own priorities and his own limitations, but anyway, thanks a lot.
We need all them we can get. Don't get enough of them. Thank you. Thank Ben for his crew. Anybody else on general public? Rest of you must be here for the 9 o'clock. Ben, you're up.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I've got the one item on the agenda today to approve voucher number 6 for the Lone Tree Bridge project. This is a payment of $42,722.68. This pays out the concrete open rail and the steel that is included in the concrete open rail. The bridge contractor is done with his portion of the bridge. The subcontractor is supposed to be coming in today, assuming that they didn't get rained out the tail end of last week. The subcontractor is responsible for the remaining items on the bridge project.
So that gets us to the 91%, 6 your total there?
Yes.
And the rest is the approaches on, I'm assuming, both sides.
The rest is sub-drain tile down the center of the road to eliminate future frost boils. Culvert on the east side, north and south of the bridge. And the remaining dirt work, and then
Is that for
seeding
the driveways?
for the driveway. And the southeast side has a natural spring that never stops running.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna try and force that water to run through the culvert, and then seed and mulch and silt fence.
And that'll get all done finally. I mean,
Optimistically, we have the road open in 2.5 weeks.
okay. Well, it all sounds real positive. I'd make a motion to approve voucher number 6 for the $42,722.68.
Second.
Any other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Beyond that, regrading of Xenia Avenue up in the northeast part of the county is complete. The road is open back up. We do have a 1 mile stretch of 210th Street between Colorado and Delaware closed right now that we're working on regrading. Just trying to finish up odds and ends projects as we're ending
the summer season.
ending the summer season, yeah.
Mhm.
Is that, regrading project going okay over there on 210?
Yes,
It's going well,
the guys are saying that it's going really well.
and it's not affecting any harvest
No, I mean,
per se. There's nothing on that road that.
no, ideally, I think Mitch Nave farms the south side of the road. He would have liked to use one of the driveways on 210th, but he was able to use one of the driveways on Colorado to
Another
access
access
his
point.
field.
Okay, but other than that, then it's going good and it'll be done when it's done.
I would think by the end of the week it'll be done.
Okay, good, very good.
Okay, that's all I have.
Oh, you got all of your, couple weeks ago, you said you had calcium chloride. Did that show up?
We've got a truckload and a half of chloride. We had, 2 loads of 15-inch CMP. First load's been delivered. The second load, I think, is supposed to be delivered this week. Just from the sheer number of driveways that we've been building this fall. We had a full truckload obligated to driveways, so we made sure that we had ordered an extra, so.
But we aren't planning on snow, so we won't need the.
Exactly, yeah.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks. We got a little bit. Let's move down to approve and place on file the Class B retail alcohol license for Cloud Wine. Got a copy of the state license.
These were the
That's the
two that were in last week, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
I believe this was just a formality they were looking at. They give us a nice overview of what the business is gonna be. They needed this license just to manufacture their said product. There's no distribution in this county whatsoever. So I think everything looks to be in order. I would make the motion that we approve and place this on file for the Cloud Wine LLC.
I'll second. And I'm kind of amazed they got it back this fast.
I know, I think they have it in the works.
Me too.
I think they have it in the works.
Monday.
Their dram shop and everything was right.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay, any other discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
I,
I,
Approved. Approved military cancellation, did you see in here? It's
I
not
just need to
gonna
fix the window at night when the light.
I tell you, my wife had it first. She had it for 2 weeks. And I don't know.
No, she's right. I'm sitting here. Yeah. You guys was saying.
Yeah. Good morning.
All right.
Morning.
you look like Sam.
No, I know she's much better looking, but I don't wanna sit between two guys with masks.
Oh, okay.
It's just the full disclosure.
We,
I really didn't want to have to wear it, but I figured we should.
God bless you.
this is a military we have to cancel.
Just one.
This one, it
Right.
came to our attention. Cassuth County contacted us and said they canceled a homestead and military in Cassuth County.
Because.
It's kind of, well, the husband passed away.
Oh, okay.
And she had a homestead and military here, but that was a different husband.
Oh.
And he passed away a long time ago, and we didn't know it. So we have to cancel the military. She can keep the homestead.
I thought a widow got that military exemption.
She's remarried.
Oh. Okay.
Not a widow any longer.
No.
Gotcha.
Yeah, when she remarried, then,
Okay.
and that's all I have.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve the military cancellation motion.
I'll start.
Go ahead, Bruce.
Do we,
Okay,
do you have to sign it?
discussion,
I don't think so. Just give it to Trish.
Oh, okay.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved.
Yeah, I'll come to see the military.
Thank you, Linda.
Yeah.
Committee report.
Do I give this to you?
Yeah. Thank you.
We'll go to Eric or Rick.
Go ahead.
It'll be pretty quick with me. Did some miscellaneous things this past week, but no official extracurricular meeting. Okay.
Yeah, I was, come in and sign checks for IDBA and, had a conversation with John. He's gonna be unavailable for a while. He's got a brother who's terminally ill and he's gonna be in South Carolina for until a week or weeks, he said. So he's gonna try to do what he can from his phone. And then Friday I came in and talked with Paul about our sewer issue we have in our basement. We're going to get somebody in to cut some concrete out so we can get the cast iron elbow out and then hopefully get a camera down and make sure, look it over good before we replace it with probably new PVC. Just a vertical stack, about 12 feet of it. Keep your fingers crossed that everything inside looks good. So that's about all I had.
All right, Tuesday I had a Udmo finance meeting for the month on video or on conference call. And then Friday we had Central Iowa Juvenile Detention. I listened to that also. That was like 3 hours of entertaining conversation there, some discussion on some of the charges. As you know, Trish, when we have someone down there, we just get a bill. Well, a lot of the towns that are having a lot of kids down there, their bills are quite high. And when you just get a bill and you don't get an explanation, they're asking for explanation. So they're trying to figure out a way to make that a little less painless. I know one thing, if we had that many kids there, we'd be in trouble. So I'd leave it at that. That's what was my week.
Okay, I had on Tuesday, I had a Zoom meeting for Humboldt County Opioid and Alcohol Coalition and had very good discussion with everybody. And we're just trying to get more information as far as what we can do and prevention and to help those that are in need of this. That's it.
Hey, Sandy, on that, CFR and juvenile detention are interested in some of that money from our county.
Yeah.
And I said the last I knew, the only thing we could use that for is prevention. Is that still?
No, you can use it for, it's prevention and if someone is in need of, I don't know, what do you call it,
Treatment?
treatment. Yeah, thanks. Sorry, I just had my phone ringing for Friendship Haven. But anyway, Mickey,
But it has to be
is it
somebody
Mickey?
from our county.
from our
Yeah.
county. Mickey, is it Mickey Schuman? I'm trying to think. She is, she's from CFR. And she's actually one of the people that are helping us with this coalition. Getting a
Okay.
lot of the state information to them and things like that.
Well, I have told both of them, if it works out and, we have people from Humboldt County, then I guess we'd be interested in putting some of our money towards that.
Mhm.
So.
Yep.
All right, thanks.
As a coalition, we're still kind of getting our feet wet and everything and trying to figure out what we can. There's a lot of, needless to say, paperwork that we have to fill out.
That
And
money is all tracked.
yes,
right?
it's all tracked. Yep. And so we're trying to figure out where we need to do. We also need to try to get multicultural within our county. So I'm reaching out to, we have a Hispanic church at our church. So I'm going to reach out to Pastor Angie there. And because she was interested when I talked to her at one time. And yeah, so it's just right now, we're just still trying to get our feet wet, trying to figure out what we need to do and where we need to go.
All right, thank you.
You bet.
All I had was a Board of Health meeting Friday. Had Michelle give us some interesting facts. Was over 90% of the nursing homes in the state are not in compliance. There's over 950 nurses short and over 2,500 CNAs, nursing assistants, short. So that was quite interesting. Also, COVID is coming back. It's coming back slow. They're seeing a couple of cases out at the hospital out here. And no, I was tested in Fort Dodge and I do not have COVID. I've got lung problems. Here's Keen's, the new environmentalist specialist, report. Looks like he's been pretty busy doing a lot of training and getting his feet wet on stuff. So if anybody wants to look at his report for the month, other than that, that's all I had.
I had a conversation with Keene on the septic system out in the county, and I've been calling a DNR, called two different DNR guys that neither one of them responded yet. This home, someone bought a 3-bedroom home, and they had to upgrade the septic system. And they're having an issue. Keene was telling them they needed a septic system for a 5-bedroom home because there's 2 rooms in the basement that had closets from the previous owner. Had kids living in the basement because he had more kids. So and nobody living in that basement for probably 15 years because the kids have grown old and went away. But being there's 2 rooms with closets, they call them bedrooms.
But if they don't have an egress window,
And
they're
that's what I
not
said.
a bedroom.
That's why I talked to the Realtors Association, and they have to have a window to be called a bedroom, so there's some
Yeah,
conflict
by
there.
law, you can't have a basement bedroom unless you have an egress window in that bedroom.
Yep, and Keene told me the DNR tells them it's a 5-bedroom, so I got some calls into the DNR to get something straightened out. They can't have 2 different sets of rules, because I got a room in my basement that called it full of toys, it's the closet, they're gonna call that a bedroom, toy rooms, dens. It's, we gotta follow one set of rules, and it's like $5,000 to upgrade from a 3-bedroom to a 5-bedroom in cost of the septic system. So, I'm working on that. But I think Keene's learning and
He's going through a lot of training, but a lot of other counties are helping him out.
Dave, could you pass that down just to see what his report looks like? Thank you.
Okay, we're still about 10 minutes early. Anybody got any objections to starting the discussion on Reasoner Dam early?
I don't.
I don't.
Well, let's start it, and Brett? You got-
Yeah, Sandy, can you hear me from here?
I think that was a yes. She's muted.
You're on mute.
I muted myself. I had to make a call real quick.
Okay. Well, where we're at with it, you know, had a group go down and clean up pull all the logs off the dam, and pull them on the sandbar, and where everybody sits down there, you couldn't see out, so, you know, a group of volunteers over 2 or 3 weekends have cleaned all that up. It looks really nice. There's a lot of people that sit down there every day and admire the view and enjoy it. On their breakfast, lunch, fishing, whatever, so that got done. I think that really cleaned it up and it looks nice. The next thing is, what we'd like to propose to the county is what is the possibility of you guys taking, we don't want to own it, you know, we've stated that before, for liability purposes and grant purposes and everything else. What would you guys propose or entertain the opportunity of letting us take over management of the dam? If you do, we aren't asking for a dime. We're gonna put new gates in, we're gonna fund it ourselves. We're gonna put new gates in, we're gonna start putting flashboards on every year to raise the pool of water 2 foot. Just to see what we can clean out naturally, you know, by operating the gates, because they haven't been operated for so long. They opened them up, everybody got to see, you know, how bad it's silted in, and what it looks like, and how narrow it's gonna get real quick. But I think the only fair shot is to fix the gates in the mill race and the gates in the dam and see what we clean out. When we had Brennan's up here in Axiom, like Brennan's a company that, guys on the dam, inspects the dam, you know, he said, yes, those gates will clean out some. How much, none of us really know, but, we really want to save the pool of water. It goes back to when Stan Tech did the report. The number one choice was, option one, which is $20 million, and we all agree that we don't have that in our budget. But it was the only way that people could, the only vote that they had was to save the pool of water, and the pool of water is really important. So then this last week, Sandy said, you know, none of her constituents were for this, and Eric, I believe you said, you know, none of your constituents are for trying to save the pool of water, fixing the dam up. So, last week, a group started some stuff on Facebook, and under a week, we got 750 people on there that want to save the dam. I think Gary's got 600 or 700 people on a list on the website that want to save the dam. So the numbers are bigger than I think you think, for people that want to save the dam for our quality of life. So, I mean, that's what we propose, you know, we'll take it over with the same kind of terms that I think Todd, was there 4 or 5 years you were gonna give us to fix it, or we couldn't, or you take it back? Yeah.
Put me on a spot here.
No, yeah, I can't remember. The only thing I'll say is I talked to Nate from the DNR. We can repair and replace those gates without a lot of hassle. Now, if you wanna redesign them, so you could put, an Overmeyer style gate, which is that ladder, that would open and shut. He wants you to go over to Waverly and look at those. He thought they were 7 or 8 foot tall, then you wouldn't have debris get caught in them, and you could open them all the way, but then you're flushing a lot of water, which if we could fix ours and pull the bottom half out, so we can just pull up the bottom, start at the bottom, so you're flushing it from the bottom, it's gonna do a better job of cleaning than it's done in the past, because we're only opening the top half of it, you know, so it'll help flush. And then when we're out cleaning the trees off the dam, there is a channel starting. It's not great, it's 4 or 5 foot deep in one spot there, you know, so it's starting to clean up, but that would be no cost to the county. And then hopefully down the road, I think it'd be great to get the city involved with the supervisors to help with the project. It needs to be a community project. And there was a nice letter to the editor from Kendra Walton from Clear Lake about up there where they study what it does, the economic impact of, getting that lake going again, what these events do for your towns. And I thought that was a great read, that she put in there, so. And there's just a lot of other opinions and stuff that's not ours. We've not tried to get a big group because it's so hard to get everybody on the same page. The general idea is to save the lake. I mean, that's our goal is to save the pool water for recreational purposes. And nothing's free. I mean, the swimming pool doesn't make money. We have lots of assets, a lot of parks, a lot of things that don't make money, but we need them for our quality of life. So I think it's more important than people realize to try to save that pool of water, because if we lose it, it's gone. And the other thing, the conservation board, is you guys were approved to study to cut it in half or tear it out. My personal feeling, and a lot of people said the same thing, if we cut it down, the silting is so high above it, you're just gonna have a mud hole. I mean, we'd probably rather have it tore out than cut it down, because if you cut it down, then you're gonna be just like Corn Belt Dam. In 15 years, they're gonna be coming to you and say, hey, get rid of that dam completely. So, I mean, why do it twice if that's the case? So if we can't save the pool of water, is our group's number one choice. If we can't save it, then I guess the dam has to go. But I mean, I live there and I'd hate to look at the mud hole. We saw what the mud hole is gonna be, and the trees and stuff that are already growing. And I think Gary Jensen went shot off the sandbar. If we put the flash boards on every year, the pool of water will just about cover that sandbar, which will stop the vegetation from growing, so control that. And let's see what we can flush out. Let's see what we can do. Because I did that I hired some guys to go above the rough dam, and those gates have created a channel up there, and it's 9 foot deep in some spots up there. So I've never been on the water above there ever, but the gates do flush stuff out. Now those gates are a lot bigger than ours, than what we have. Ideally, I'd love to put gates in like that, and then I'm really comfortable we can flush it out. So that's it. I don't know what your thoughts are, or how we handle a situation like that. But I think the people, and they just started this last week. The people are starting to speak that they want to save the pool of water. So I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on passing that baton to us and see what we can do with it. It's the cheapest thing you're gonna get thrown at them. We aren't asking for a dime for them.
I think it's a good idea. However, is the county liable? Are you liable if somebody gets hurt down there while you're doing that? Where's the liability lie? You're a 501c3, right?
Correct.
Okay. Do you have the insurance, or is it still reliable on the county insurance? Or can we give you the dam to work on, or take it away from the conservation board and give it to a 501c3 to take care of? Can we do that legally?
I don't know. But it's a question we need to ask. I really don't know.
Yeah, it kind of opens up some questions of legality reasons.
Sure does.
Well, aren't we liable right now? We don't have
Yeah,
a
we are.
cable going across there in
Right.
case someone
Yeah.
had an accident.
And that was the other thing we were gonna do is put cables up with ropes hanging from them like they're supposed to be, like other dams do in other towns. And, there used to be some telephone poles to stop the debris from the gates. We're gonna try to rig them up again and do something similar to that, so.
Can you check on insurance?
No, it's easier for
Let's find out if
really
it's
cheap
legal.
for the county.
That would be the first step, in my opinion, would be the first step to find out if the county can actually do that. If we take it away from the conservation, can we legally give it to the 501c3.
Well, I don't believe that that's what we want. Do we? I mean, if you're, the county has a blanket liability policy for everything that they have, the city has one. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interject, but you're responsible for the dam, just like we're responsible if somebody slips on our sidewalk because we haven't cleaned
Right.
it. So to me, liability, that's what your blanket liability is for the dam. If a 501c takes it over, that makes them liable, and they would have to purchase the insurance, and anybody named in that would probably be liable along with that civilly. So I don't see how that would ever work. I mean, just by insurance law, you can't, you know, if you take on the responsibility of the dam, then it falls on the corporation, and then if the corporation, if they want to sue you civilly, they can sue you civilly, probably, in that case, because that's just the way it goes.
Isn't that the reason why Dave said we need to check and see if we could do that?
Yeah,
That was what he said to begin
the
with.
county will still own it,
Right.
but
I guess I
can we take the
misunderstood. I guess I
responsibility?
misunderstood. I thought you wanted to give us ownership of it. I
No,
guess that was-
No,
The
the county will still own it. But can we take the authorization from a county organization and give it to a nonprofit? That's the control of it.
I apologize.
That's what I'm-
I got confused.
I may not explain that right, but that's the way I feel about it. We need to find out if we can take control away from the county board and give it to a 501c3 or
Perfect.
nonprofit.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No,
That's
you're fine.
That's fine. We got having a lot of questions, so we need a lot of answers.
And that goes back to what we've talked about numerous times, that this isn't something that's just, here, here's the title of the truck we just wanted to sell. Or
Yeah.
in territory we've never been in. So
Right.
I'm not sure I don't know if John would be able to find out for us, or if we'd have to find somebody else that could give us a ruling on it. I don't have a clue.
I don't either.
I would think John should be able to, you know, answer that question. I
Is
just,
he still around?
But
Is John still around?
I think so. Oh, this is a different John Tolbert
Oh,
on the
okay.
IDDA guy, John,
Okay.
not our county attorney.
And the other thing that Nate said, if that accident report that we did, whether it's, you know, Overmeyer's and fixing the cement and doing everything else. He said anytime you make any structural changes, if you gotta go through 5 different processes or 5 different attendees or whatever. And their groups, and it's a minimum 18-month window. So I would say if we could take, you know, take over management of it, and we got that ball rolling, I would, you know, just so you guys know in advance. It could be a while to get, you know, if you move to step
takes
2,
time.
phase 2 or phase 3 or whatever, it's gonna take some time. You know, I mean, to do that, but putting the gates in, we would do that immediately with no, nothing, just we'll fund it ourselves and do it ourselves.
Well, it's something to think about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Call John, see if he can come
If the
down.
dam's gone, it's gone.
I just text him. I just text him to see if he could come down.
Yeah, is John in? Then Court. Okay.
It,
No, we just have some questions for him down here. I'll talk to him later. Okay, thank you.
Well, one thing about this, nothing has moved
He's
at
in
a
court.
right,
speedy pace, so it isn't like going into October that we're gonna be doing a whole lot. So I guess questions answered that we need to ask, see where we end up. That's my opinion, but I'm just one.
my initial thoughts when I hear this, yeah, it keeps the pool of water, but it doesn't make the dam any better than it is. The steel culvert part is past its lifespan. But there again, you're spending your own money and your own time and your own labor. So we're not out anything other than the time. Yeah.
Well, my question would be on response to that is, if Ben started getting phone calls from farmers that said, you know what, I'm pissed that you guys aren't getting out here to plow your snow underneath. Or I'm gonna start plowing 2 miles. Would we be mad?
Yeah,
We would?
well, because they always push our rock.
Well, I know they push our rock, but I'm just,
That's what I
these
guess.
people were asking
I know.
to continue to try and find solve the problem that we have.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I
mean,
think it's a
I'm not
win-win.
against it, Bruce,
I'm
but
just-
well,
I'm just
pointing the
asking.
fact out that it doesn't improve the structure of the dam any,
Well,
but it does prolong it, I guess, I don't know.
well, Nate's kind of, he agreed with the fact that, you know, why are we gonna spend $3-4 million if we don't know that we'll flush it out, you know? So this will help. Yeah, to give us a hint or an idea if it's gonna start flushing some stuff out. The other thing we talked about, and Todd knows more about this than me, the fish ladders. The west side of the dam, the shore is starting to get eaten out a little bit over there, and that's gonna be a problem. And Nate said, I said, well, can we build fish ladders, incorporate that into shoring up that shoreline around there? And then there's some money available for that, which would help shore that up and build some fish ladders around there. And then there's grants and stuff available for that. So, yeah, we're helping save the life of it by doing that. You know, we would start in on that project immediately to see, you know, if that would help tighten up that situation, if that makes any sense. But by incorporating fish platters, you know,
Yeah, that helps.
DNRs, yeah, it helps, and
Mhm.
we get 1 star on our refrigerator. I don't know,
That last group you visited with, didn't they say that their fix for them barrels would be to put a new set of steel on the outside, or rock or concrete or whatever in there, and said that was probably the easiest part of the fix.
Yeah, sure it is.
That was his explanation. So
well, they said their thing was assuming that the toe's not anchored and the heel's not anchored, you know, or the
Yeah,
heel
it
is
doesn't have
cut
a
in.
key way cut into the limestone.
Even assuming the words, they said there's still 50 years of life left. If those things were done, which they can't prove they were or weren't, you know, then they said, they cut the life in half, well, then there's 100 years of life left, if those things are done. None of us, or they don't know how to prove that one way or the other, so, I mean, it's a solid core dam, you know. And we could do it in steps too, you know, because we can afford it.
I think Rick brings up a really good point that, you know, the structure of the dam is still the structure of the dam. It's not in good shape. We've done several studies on this. I think you talk about wanting to have the recreational for the area. We had a wonderful idea that wouldn't have cost the county very much money at all. I know everybody gets tired of me bringing it up, but it's the truth. We would have had a really nice area. And at one point, Bruce, you were for it. We went down and talked with everybody about it. And we thought it was a go, and it would have been amazing. So I think we just keep moving from one area to another, and Brett, you said that I said that nobody in my district was for saving the dam. That's not true. I said, I have talked to several people that do not want their taxes increased. And I still do. I know that I have a couple of neighbors that would like to save the dam. I get it. And it isn't that I'm against saving the dam. I just also need to listen to what a majority of the people of Humboldt want, and they don't want their taxes increased to refurbish the dam. And then will we ever get it back to what it really used to be in the 60s and 70s? I got an article text to me about back in the 60s that one of the islands went away and it was going to be $100,000 to fix it, and the county didn't have the money for it back then. So what's the difference now? It isn't that I want to tear it down and see it go away. I just want to do what's actually really truly best for Humboldt County. And I think we have let the Conservation Board, they've done an amazing job. Honestly, I'm not going to say I'm opposed to it right now. We need to find out the legalities and everything about it. but I don't think we want to jump ship on the conservation board.
Well, all of our taxes have gone up a lot in the last several years and we haven't spent a dime on the dam. So it's a fact, our taxes are gonna keep going up. And in order to stop our taxes going up, we're gonna have to stop all the extra amenities we have. Is that what we want, to draw people to Humboldt? I don't think so. I mean, our taxes are going up and you haven't accrued a dime, you haven't spent a dime on the dam. So how can that get pinned on the dam solely?
And we want to fundraise for all of this. We're not expecting a dime from the supervisors or the county. We want to try and at least have the right to fundraise. I think something that gets back to the weeds here is that everybody in the county owns the dam. The supervisors are in charge of it, and the Humboldt County Conservation is in charge of its maintenance. But it's a county amenity, and so anybody that pays any kind of taxes in the county has ownership in the dam.
Yeah.
And what we're saying is that if we want to fundraise, it shouldn't be an issue for anybody, because we're not asking anything of anybody other than to just keep the ownership and the insurance in their name. The page that we have, Save Lake Nokomis, we started it on Wednesday and we've got 769 members. All of which, one of the questions that was asked was, do you support saving the dam in its entirety? And all 769 of them have said, yes, that is their intent, that they want to fix the dam, not shorten it. So, and it's growing. I mean, it's not like it's stalled out. So, there is support for it. We know of people that have voiced opinions to me that they want to help with this financially. So I really don't see the drawback, unless there's some kind of a legal issue that has to be overcome for us to take it over. So that's where I'm at. It's the cheapest solution.
Us to take it over for the operation, not taking it over for ownership.
What will you gain by cutting that dam down 4 foot?
Seven.
What will you gain? You're gonna look like Fort Dodge.
Yeah.
You can kayak in 7 foot of water. You can't kayak anywhere now. So what will you gain? Charles City's a dead horse if that's what you're trying to get. You're not gonna gain anything by spending $4 million to cut it down. What will that prove?
And then if you're wasting that much money, you might as well take it out.
Yeah.
That's stupid to leave anything.
How are you gonna cut it down 4 foot?
Oh, it won't even come up to my house.
So then if you're worried about tax dollars, all these guys live on the river. What do you do about their tax? You gonna give them tax abatement for living on a creek? Just devaluated their property. If you're worried about taxes so much.
I don't think you have to worry about anything.
The dam were offered to get.
I know, but who cares? Who cares? This is America. Okay, everybody here owns it, right? You feel that's a bad thing. So if you went down to Fort Dodge and looked at the dam down there, where it was, it's pathetic. Okay, so I'm probably the only one in here that realizes what it's gonna look like. It's a V. Right now, the water low, it's 20 foot wide, and it's a V with cliff that goes all the way up. There's a cliff there. In back of my place, you'd have to go down that cliff, which is below the dam. You know what it looks like, everybody? That goes all the way up the river. And then there's a beach. And it's actually deeper than you think, because there's a lot of fall there. So. Like
Yeah.
Nokomis.
Yeah,
So
you
so
had
what are you gonna
some,
do? Get rid of the Nokomis, because you can't call it Lake Nokomis,
No.
and it'll be ugly.
I
I can sit on my deck and I won't be able to see any of that.
No.
Not that I care.
I believe you.
have a summary of the Stantec report for the questionnaire they sent out. And on it, the question was, do you support issuing a bond to help pay for the repair or renovation of the Reasoner Dam? No was 21%, yes was 73%. That's pretty heavy on the plus side to say. And that's Stantec. That's not something we did or anybody else.
That was a group of people that were come to that meeting that were interested in the dam.
Yeah.
It's their summary of
Yeah.
the questionnaire. and-
Yeah, of the people there that night at the fair.
So how about if we just try to get our question answered about the legality of whether we can turn over operation and listen to people for the next week or however long it takes us to get an answer back. Because we haven't went anywhere fast doing this.
No, it's been a slow process.
I'll give John a call and, touch with him this week. Let's put this on the agenda for next week.
You might have to give him more time than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
Find
say,
out if it's
I don't want to
legal
do anything
to-
quick.
It wouldn't be the ownership, but it's the operation of the dam to a nonprofit. We can go that route and see where we're at on it.
Thank you for the consideration.
You bet.
I thank you guys for all of your effort putting the cleanup and, just one thing that worries me, all that sitting down there, and I hate to say it in public, but some nights, there's a lot of people sitting down there that doesn't get torched, and that thing would burn for a long time, as many trees as you have out there.
Well, Gary would like to burn it. but-
Isn't that the plan to burn
Yeah.
Well, I know, but
Yes,
we
we
really don't want it burned when no one's around in the middle of the night.
let Gary say.
Very possible. I talked to Cole down the city, and through their burn order.
Burn ordinance,
We were waiting for the fire, for the burn days,
Oh,
Perfect.
yeah, there's certain,
you know.
Bring it
so-
on.
certain days in the fall when you can burn.
Yeah.
Yes, so my hands are kind of tied, unless we've never approached them individually, you know, to see if it would be okay to burn it ahead of time.
I
Oh,
can
I
take it
doubt it.
before the council at the next meeting if we would allow a special day for the county, if it'll get things moving and get some cohesiveness between the city and the county on this issue. I'll put it before the city council that we open up a special day, because all it would require is being on the agenda and we vote for it. And I don't see why the city wouldn't sign up for that. So if that's where you wanna go with it, that's what I'll take back to them as an agenda item, to open up a special day. Just to get it done.
or we're gonna have the fire department call down there
Absolutely.
midnight, some night.
We have the fire department there, if somebody wants to, if we can talk to the fire chief, and if he wants to have somebody down there to monitor it. that's
Basically
fine
what you call a controlled burn, like when you
Sure.
burn a house.
too. Whatever you guys wanna do.
We're in a perfect spot.
Yeah.
We're water on Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's
I'd get
fairly
it burned.
safe.
I'd go to the city and get it burned. If you got a
I'll
little
put it on the-
ceiling,
I'll
that
put it on the
smoke's
agenda for
gonna
the next
follow the
meeting.
river, so.
For a vote. And a date, you just let me know what date you want, or what you wanna do specifically, well, if you wanna do it on a weekend or whatever. Whatever's best.
Okay, is there any other discussion on the dam at this time? If not, Andy, you had some questions.
Yep, I sure do. So I guess I've got 6 of them, so I don't know how you want me to do it. You want me to just read through the 6 and then you
Just
guys
read
can
'em.
address, or then kind of move from there? Right, so, with regard to all of this that's going on, I've had people talk to me and I've had several conversations around, and I've had a few people kind of come to me since I've asked the questions, but I want to get them out there so that the supervisors are aware and the county's kind of aware. So first question is, does saving the dam promote enhanced water quality? If so, how? Does saving the dam provide enhanced conservation tactics for Humboldt County? If so, how? What purpose does the dam serve to the community as a whole? I understand for those people who live above the dam, I get that. But what does it serve for the whole, for the community as a whole? And for the rest of Humboldt County outside of the watershed, or the rivershed? Is the issue this based due, is part of the issue this based due to runoff from farmers tiling and land rest and the restoration and management of the dams upstream and through the counties above, or both? And if this should be a joint issue, and this has kind of been answered already, but I'll ask it anyway. Why is it solely a county issue, and doesn't this exist inside the city, and why isn't there an ongoing partnership between the city and the county? And why was it voted down, and why isn't it being readdressed? And if it is, it's great. And the last question is, will the Salvation of the Dam recover the water sports enthusiasts that we've lost to actual lakes? Right, I mean, we talk about Lake Nokomis, but it's really a wide spot of the river. I mean, this isn't a lake, this isn't Clear Lake, right? This isn't Okoboji, this isn't Twin Lake, this isn't Lake Cornelia, this isn't Red Lake, this isn't Taylorville. This is a wide spot of the river that gets called Lake Nokomis because it's a pool behind the dam. So to say that Clear Lake and the restoration that goes on with Clear Lake, it's kind of apples and oranges. It's not really the same conversation. So all of that being said, those are the 6 questions, and there are 2 kind of quick follow-ups. One, does the dam accomplish those things in any sort of restored state? And if so, how? And 2, the answer is no. Then why aren't we trying to accomplish water quality and creating a system that's going to help restore the river to its natural habitat as being primary? And those are my questions.
I can answer all of them.
Go ahead, Steve.
In the first place, water quality is not a problem issue with that. It's more farmers putting all kinds of pesticides. And, you know, when you fly over with an airplane and it leaks and it gets on the grass and kills it, that's a problem. That's what's happened to me. I got spots where the plane leaks when it comes in. I don't care as long as it doesn't kill anybody. Okay, well, the dam has been there for 100 years. Well, this is the first time anybody's ever paid any attention to it. And I don't know why. Is it gonna boil out or is it gonna fall apart? I don't think so. It's full of rebar. If you try lowering it, you can bang on it, that's gonna completely destroy it. So if you take it out, all you got is a little bead that goes down through it. And I imagine there's people that are gonna come out there and sit and look at it. I don't know. Yeah. But for what reason, I don't know. Right? I don't know. Okay, so it doesn't hurt a damn thing then. Now you can say it might cause flooding, but if you get a hydrologist in there, they'll say that isn't gonna affect it that much. But restoring that gate will wash all that sand out of it. It will. You can take up years. Right. Exactly. Oh, well, and then the way they're planning on fixing it. Dale. But, so, there's not a lot of material out there. You're talking millions of dollars to take, you can get an excavator with trucks, and I guarantee you, I can have most of that sand out of there in a week.
They let it, the DNR level.
Well, there's already been an excavator out there, they're already burned out. They didn't get all the trees.
Yeah.
That doesn't allow, go down there and look at the bayou. It's sickening is what it is. It's filled in, I know what the depth of that thing was. It's filled in with mud that much because of that sand. Now, right now, I could go down and get a machine and I'd go in there and make a trench for the day. I can take the rest of those trees out of there in a day. If I had the right. But. Okay, so you take the dam out, what do you gotta do? You gotta fill the mill racing. You gotta take the powerhouse out.
And no way to build fish ponds, you gotta remember.
Oh, yeah, that,
You'll have to get
get
a
all
pump.
those in and make a park down there. Put up tennis courts would be the best thing.
What good does a park do?
Oh, there, nobody's gonna be there. It's like the trail. We were down there this morning. One person walks in that trail every morning, Mrs. Jacobson.
Well, I mean, what good does it do? We talk.
Well, yeah,
What
well,
good does a dam do? What good does a park? I mean,
well, the dam has never hurt anything. I mean, it's, you know, and then you talk about liability. That's the first thing you gotta find out, but screw the liability. Now, if you get people that sign a waiver to do this, you know, people, American people, you know, there's no reason why I don't think it should be. I mean, if you get a contractor, in there, he's gonna screw the hell out. 50% of this, you know, to fix that gate, and the way Dale said it is a good idea, replace it as it is, without any engineering. Okay, so if there is a flood, it's like right now. We can have a lot of rain. There's no reason we couldn't have a 10-inch rain. Okay, that logs we don't have to worry about because they're gonna float away. You don't have to burn. But there's gonna be more sand. And every time you open those gates up in Rutland, there's more sand coming down. And if you wanted to wash the sand out of Rutland, I guarantee you, somebody who had control of that gate and opened it and shut it 5 times a day with the amount of water, there's approximately 1,000 cubic feet of water. What is it? 100 cubic feet of water per second, right? Which isn't much. Oh, it's water, so low, so low. I've seen it that way more times than I've seen it high. And right now, next year, if it rain like hell, farmers wouldn't be out and getting fields. Everybody be complaining. And the river will stay up high all year long. And in the last 5 years, it's done that. You don't notice it. You didn't think of it. But the river's been high. Too high to do anything with it. Right now, it's the only time you can do anything with it because it's low. And if you'd open that gate right now and had somebody running it, that would open it and shut it, all that sand would move out. We use a lot of sand there. And I hate to imagine what the river downstream is. But it's a simple proposition. I mean, it's simple to do. That the dam, I don't think it's gonna go out for quite a few years. You know, and then if it does, there's things you can do. It's like if it's unsafe, I was thinking maybe a guy could put riprap across the front of him. I was out there trying to save you. But if you have riprap the same height as a dam, you can walk along there. It's not that dangerous. I've been walking that river for years. All the current is terrible, but if you had a road across there 10 feet out, and if somebody has a boat problem or something, you have to have a cable. But you could get out of the boat and walk the shore. It's as simple as that. You know, you could do it without spending a lot of money.
So I have something I'd like to say, if Steve would yield the floor. I just Googled it, and Sailorville Lake is actually considered a reservoir, so if because there is a dam on the Des Moines River that feeds it, so, and it's considered lake, so the dam in the Des Moines River that is Lake Tacomas could be considered a lake, a pond, or whatever you want to call it. I think we get confused and get into the weeds about definitions, but Sailorville Lake is actually a reservoir, so if that's a bone of contention, we can call it Reservoir Nokomis. I don't really care. One other thing I'd like to interject from these discussions is that the yacht club had a major fire, you probably all are aware of, 2 years ago, which could have destroyed the whole plant. Thank God it didn't, and thank God for our fire department. But one thing that's lost in the weeds here is that pool of water could and very well may be a key component to our firefighters fighting any kind of major fire anywhere within that pool, because they can go and they can pump water right out of that reservoir with their pumper trucks to go fight fires anywhere. And I'm not so sure that the fire that was on West River Drive with Davis's, I'm not so sure that they didn't actually pull water out of there. So if we eliminate that pool of water and it turns into and stays a creek like it is, that is potentially a huge loss for our fire department. So, and I would wish that the fire chief were able to be here. I think he's out of town at the moment, but I was trying to get him hopefully to come up here to give his 2 cents on it, because that is a safety issue. If we would have had to pull all the water out of the water towers that we have, we would have created another problem on top of the fire at Yacht Club. So that's another thing that needs to be considered here is above recreation. That pool of water can be used for fighting fires or other things that are essential to keeping our public safe. So if anybody wants to add to that, they can.
Andy, I would also add, have you ever been down there from your dad's house, walk down there some morning in the spring? When the fishing is hot and heavy, because there's several fishermen in here that, you turn around to rebait your hook or to fix your line. They get kind of congested in there and they get a little territorial. So I'm not saying they bring in thousands of dollars and they're spending nights at the hotels, but it's still,
I understand, no, I'm just asking questions, I mean,
well,
from my side, I mean, these are questions that have been raised to me and I've been asked about and I don't have answers for, and so I just wanna I wanna ask the questions the way that they were asked to me so that I can get it out there. I tried a different avenue and that avenue didn't work for whatever reason. So now I've decided to bring it to the supervisors because this is a county issue. You guys own the dam, so I bring it to you. But I do think that a couple of things need to be kind of brought up as I'm listening to the conversation, right? If we're gonna talk about the river, let's talk about the river, don't call it a creek. Right? I mean, because if you're gonna say that Lake Nokomis is a lake, then the river's a river. Don't call it a creek. Right? That's just fair being fair, right? Let's apples be apples and kind of go down that road. Right? I mean, and I think, and I'm not saying that I'm opposed to the idea of anything. I just think questions need to be asked, and why can't we ask the questions? And why, and this shouldn't be like a down shouter kind of a thing. This should be an open dialogue and an open conversation, and, but water quality is an issue. I mean, as much as we want to say, well, this is about recreation and water quality isn't really an issue, water quality is an issue. When you look at it, I mean, Iowa, for whatever reason, passes the Iowa Water, Land and Legacy Act and then won't fund it. But why can't Humboldt be a leader? Why can't Humboldt County take a role in becoming better and do better with regard to water quality and how we're going to treat and bring our water and work with our water, right? It's not just about recreation, it's about everything. And that includes the fishing, right? How much better would the fishing be, right? And how much better would things be downstream, upstream, through the whole county if we just take an honest, open look and have a study and do a real study on what's going on, not something that comes in from the outside and say, okay, well, here's your study, take a look at this. But as the county does the work and the county does the study and figures out where we're at. And really kind of open the dialogue and open this kind of a conversation. That's really all I'm after. I don't have a preconceived idea because I haven't been on the river since I was 21 years old, right? And that's 30 years ago. Right? I haven't really spent time on the river.
I'll answer your question. Right now, like I said, there's 100 cubic feet of water coming down the river. 100 cubic feet. Okay. Okay.
7 gallons and stuff.
Right. That's enough. Where if you open that gate, which is only 10 foot by 10 foot, it's gonna wash a hole the first day all the way down the river and put up a pile of sand you won't believe it. Because right now you can't get the but that little amount of water, you know what it's made up of? Has anybody gone down below the sewer plant and looked at the water going into the river? Anybody? It's a pretty good stream. A lot of water being used. Okay, you got what? Emmitsburg, Spencer, Wyndham, Jackson. I don't know, all the towns, even the little ones, some of them release water in the river. It's all sewage, right? Or septic water. It's clean, somehow.
treated
Treated.
by the DNR's factor.
But if you go down there where it's dumping in, or go up to Emmitsburg where it's dumping in, it don't look treated. It stinks. There's dead fish around there. Okay, wait. So that's primarily what's coming down that river to keep it up at that 3 foot mark. Like right now, there's a lot of water coming there from the river.
People in Des Moines drink it.
And the people in the mines drink it. And all of the bees down there have the weird poison. And they're drinking. Every one of those schools, if you were to test them all. Okay, so now the next thing that's doing it is you've got quarries. You've got the Bradgate Quarry, Balanis Quarry. There's a sand pit up there. There's a spring out that goes into the river from over east. And the Roslyn Quarry. Go up and look at those and where they dump into the river. That's what's feeding this river right now. And some tiles, because the creek really aren't running. So this is what you need to take that sand out, doing it in the low water.
All right, I'd like to interrupt here just for a minute. Andy asked some really valid questions. I think Todd would have some answers for those, and I think we need to get those answered, or to the best of our ability that we can right now. So Todd, would you be able to answer some of the questions that Andy proposed?
You can try, I guess.
Okay, all right, I'll let you try. How's that? I just like to see some, we need to get some things going here.
Okay, I guess the first one, Andy, was the water quality. Yep. Question. There you go. Just have one. Does the saving of the dam promote enhanced water quality? If so, how? I don't think, and again, this is my opinion. I don't claim to be a hydrologist. I don't claim to be an expert. But I don't see that whatever option is chosen with the dam is going to have a dramatic effect on water quality. The water quality thing is more of like a watershed wide issue, and that watershed, I believe, is like 1.4 million acres above the Reasoner Dam. So, if you're going to look at water quality, you're looking at stuff more like filter strips, buffer strips, bioreactors. Thank you, Gary. That sort of thing. I guess waterway, the dam is going to have really any effect at all.
Or has it, and it hasn't.
So, number two, does the saving of the dam promote enhanced conservation tactics for Humboldt County? If so, how? And this is from an environmental perspective. Dams are frowned upon. They act as a barrier, interfere with fish passage, both upstream and downstream, mussel passage, both upstream and downstream. The DNR has done some sampling, and they did it in, I believe, 21 and 23. And the area between like Rutland and Reasoner shows a dramatic decrease as far as human fish populations go, as compared to below the Reasoner Dam, above the Rutland Dam. I guess you could put two and two together, probably as part of the reason why. Like, I think that answers that question. They are building a new dam right now. I'm not even sure where in southern Iowa. All DNR approved the whole, so they may seem against things like this, but they're not.
Unless they're for it.
That's
Because they were for Saylorville and they were for Brushy Creek when they dammed up that to create a lake. So they're for them until they're against.
Game fish can't you produce. And water comes up. Fish ladder would allow some up and down movement would be better. So whatever.
The only place we did talk about fish ladder, we did talk about fish ladder earlier.
Introduce in the river no matter where it's at. There's too much. I think we're getting away from what we're doing.
Yeah.
We need to get back to, is this even an option? Is it something we can deal with? These questions, we can address those individually or separately later or immediately.
I haven't called John Colbert. He can answer this question.
We'll let Todd finish.
I was gonna say, let's give everybody the same respect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I guess I'll try to make this fast, and if you want me to stop, I can certainly do that, but. Question 3 is, what purpose does the dam serve to the community as a whole? I mean, I think we all agree that that area has been a recreational gathering point for the community for these 50 years. I mean, like Brett said, people still go there. Today, you can go there at noon tonight. But there's 15 cars that people eat their lunch, watching the water. I know Brett also referenced that letter to the editor in the paper last week, talking about the economic impact. I agree. I mean, I think there is some economic benefit to be had. And I guess here's maybe where we disagree, but I think whether you do option 2 or whether you save the dam, I think there's going to be some economic benefit for this community. Brett talked about quality of life.
People wanna live here, people wanna work here, that's important. It's hard to put a monetary value in that, in my opinion, but it is important. So. And that answers 3. 4. The issue that's faced due to runoff from farmers piling land, restoration and management of the dams upstream, or both. That's a. In fairness, I would say probably a little bit of both. It's hard to quantify what percentage each contributes. Part of a river there is sediment transport happening as we speak. It's continuous. Obviously, the operation of the Rutland gates, when those open, it's a rush. I mean, there's a lot of water moving. But I've also had somebody give me an article from the Independent in 1999. And in there, the supervisors are talking about siltation above both Rutland and Reasoner Dam. The Rutland Dam gates were fixed in 2000. So it was an issue even before the Rutland gates got fixed. So that's I guess, convoluted, wishy-washy answer, but I guess probably a little bit of both.
So river, silt's been moving down that ever since day one.
Yeah.
Before, after, and
Continue.
So, yep, agreed. Why is this a common issue? This is not existing inside city limits, et cetera, et cetera. The city has been very cooperative, very good to work with. I have had an open dialogue with them from day one. With this last go around, they had moved on to some other bigger projects and just really looked ready to jump in again. I do believe they still intend to do some recreational amenities stuff downstream from the dam at some point in the future. So I think they're willing to work with us, just not right now. And lastly, probably the most importantly, will the salvation of the dam recover the water sports enthusiasts that we have lost to actual lakes? Again, that's anybody's guess. I don't feel comfortable answering that. I think Amy made a good point in, it just seems like a lot of the recreational boats are bigger now than maybe they were in 60 and 70, 60s and 70s. People are more apt to travel. I mean, I know when I was a kid, when we go to Fort Dodge as a family, it was a big deal. And now we go there 3 times a week. I mean, it's just different. People seem more willing to go to Okoboji, go to Twin Lake. But with that said, would people utilize Lake Nicolas or the reservoir above the dam? Yes. To what extent? I don't know how you quantify that for sure. So that's what I got.
Not a fair question because we can't use it. So how can we know that?
well, I'm sure it would be quite a bit, because I might be down there every weekend, if you had a nice little dock.
And Andy, the difference between a river and a creek, a river will create branches and canyon, which ours does when there's water flow. A
Right.
creek is a meandering stream, basically. It does not have the power to create a pool of water. And that's what we're asking for. All we want is a pool of water.
I get that, but that's,
They're not the same. You said they were.
no, I didn't, I said.
You said they
let's
were
call
the
it-
same. Let's
no,
call it a creek. It'll be a creek if we take it.
no, I
as
said,
a
let's
dam.
not call it a creek, let's call the river a river. That's all.
Only thing
Okay.
I'd like to interject something real quick, Dave. Not everybody can, excuse me, we're trying to keep people in Humboldt. Not everybody can afford to go to Clear Lake or Okoboji. And in the middle of the week, when we see the kids, we live there, see kids playing and floating and rafting, and in the evening, you see Reed Carroll, or some of those young guys after work out there farting around for a few hours. That's what it's about, we're not gonna stop the people that want to go to you. Let's give them an excuse to stay in Humboldt, Sandy, we said a long time ago, let's make this destination Humboldt, Let's keep enhancing destination Humboldt. And our group is for everything, for everybody,
You got something to offer, why not keep it?
Yeah. Or make it more.
Or make it
They don't
more
have to go to
usable.
Cornelia, they don't have to go to Twin Lakes is a mess right now, you know, so.
you know, and Corn Belt Dam, when they tore that out, a lot of fishermen was torqued because they come up in Fort Dodge and southern Iowa, they was coming up here fishing. When you go down to dam, when there was a lot of fishing, how many out of county cars did you see?
And
A
still,
lot.
and still is,
Yeah,
Webster every day.
because they can't fish in Fort Dodge.
no, that's,
They took the dam on its own.
Well, thank you guys. Great
Thank you,
conversation.
appreciate it.
you bet. Thank you all.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
get
something to
back
think
with
about.
you as soon as we find out from John what we can do legally. We can give control over to you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, anything else on the agenda?
I have one question. Can I
You bet.
speak? Sure. Did submit a grant to the DNR last Friday to help pay for what we talked about 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
In light of what went down today, do you want me to withdraw that application? I've also sent out RFPs to 6 different engineering firms, which is a request for a proposal. Do we want to pursue that yet, or do I need to let these people know, hey?
I don't think we're on the hook for anything at this point.
No, but it is a lot of work for those people to put that together.
Yeah, it
because
is.
There's cost
Right.
estimates
Well,
involved,
Yeah, there's a lot.
and I'm the one that's. I don't
Then
want
then
this
you
to-
look like a guy, the next time you call them, they're gonna say, yeah, I ain't gonna talk to you.
Yep, so if you guys want to hold off, that's fine. I'm just looking in the direction. I don't know.
I
how
would
many times I've
recommend
said
putting
that.
put it on hold, because I know then what you do, if you know, they give it to you, and they say, oh, we changed our mind, next time you call them, they're not gonna even talk to you.
Right. And it's your
So,
reputation on the line, Todd.
yes.
At the end of the day, yeah, it is somewhat, and that's, I guess, why I'm asking.
I
Well, my
think,
question is, if you don't call them and ask them, chances are they aren't gonna have it done this week. And hopefully we're gonna have an answer within a couple of weeks.
I put October 16th as the date when they had.
Well, I would hope that we would have an answer from an attorney before October 16th. And I would
And I-
think they'll be able to feedback some
I,
type
I
of,
would prefer to wait until after that to go back to them.
Yeah.
and who knows, we
Otherwise-
might have to put this on a public, we can still, I got a hold of John and asked him some questions as far as having to put this on the ballot if we need to. And we need to give, let me get the thing, I think it's 5 to 20 days before the ballot. And that we ourselves, we don't have to wait for a petition. We can do it ourselves as the Board of Supervisors. So, I mean, if it comes to that, maybe we need to put it out there to the people. And it goes by 60% of the people who vote will get it passed. And put it to the people and see, is this something that we want to do?
I don't know what our.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what everybody else thinks.
Yeah, I don't know what our proposal would be at this point.
I don't either. I don't
I
know.
don't
what-
know.
I don't know what that
I know.
proposal would be at this point.
And if we don't get it on the general, then we can always do it as special election, which does cost the county money. But maybe it's come to the point where we got to find out I mean, they talk about these 700 people that have signed up, which is fine and dandy. But we need to know, what does the general public really truly want?
What the proposal would be at this point, if they, what I'm understanding is this isn't a county expense. They're asking for,
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying there, yeah. I'm not opposed to
I mean-
letting someone spend their own money and try to do
Right.
something to prove that, yes, it will take the sand out.
but I also go back to
But-
referring to the conservation board's immense amount of work. And your proposal that you offered not all that long ago about you can have 2 or 3 years to explore this, and then after that, there's no exploration and nothing's been accomplished, so to speak. Then,
And we,
Yes.
yeah,
and we have to do
so I think
something.
if we,
Yeah.
you know, and that was a recent proposal.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not.
And then the next proposal, they came back and they wanted to cut it down. So they really haven't given them a chance.
Now this is kind of like a circle, the little circle and then a bigger circle, but
It is. I mean, we just ultimately all want to do what's best for Humboldt County. We do. I think there isn't anybody here that doesn't.
I've been talking to different counties. I've talked to Chickasaw County. They have a dam there at Nashua. And 20 years ago, they stuck a bunch of money into it. Now they're gonna stick more money into it again. I asked him about their pool of water. They said, we drive by, it looks nice. He says it's 1 foot deep, 1 to 2 foot deep, the majority of it.
That's probably what ours is.
That's what ours would be here. So it's very similar, and they also have the issue of, they don't know for sure who even owns the dam. The city says they want control of it. Mid-American has a turbine in it, they want control of it. And the county wants control of it because they have a bunch of houses that are in the county where they're getting the tax revenue.
Yeah,
So,
familiar.
so it's similar things and.
So again, it's a tough choice. I don't envy you guys at all.
Right.
I'm just looking for some direction.
I know.
Like,
Put it on
tried to-
hold.
Yep.
I would reach out to people and tell them to hold up on that so they don't
Yep.
put a lot of work into it.
Yep. Put
I
it on
agree.
hold. We
Is
got,
that even a possibility?
Yeah, I can call them and tell them to withdraw our application
Well-
and disregard the email I sent with RFP attachment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
to tell them that got another avenue that we're found out.
We're searching.
But there again, it's a search and we don't know the exact answers, as we think we determined that much today. We need another question. So I don't.
Which is fine,
Yeah.
just so that I
Hate to
don't.
see your work back up and then recircle and then recircle again.
Well, I don't really think that we're gonna back up and recircle it. John gives you an answer that says you can transfer the running of the dam.
Management.
Sounds to me like that's what they're after.
Yep.
If he says there's no way in hell it'll work, then we proceed with what they voted on the last time.
Right. And if they,
I
if
think
he
it's pretty
does,
cut and dry.
yep, if he does say yes, then we just need to put the stipulations on it. And we need to make, you know what I mean? We've got to do that. We can't just willy-nilly.
Right.
Todd, how do you,
I'm a little frustrated. I just feel like this has went on too long. We've talked, how many times have I been here?
I can bet you one thing, more than
You
you,
even look at me.
more,
You want me to leave some?
more than-
I don't want to say something that piss you off.
Not even to know.
I'm just telling you, you know, I'm sitting on both sides of the fence, because
Okay.
that group calls me and they think that being as I'm on this board, that it's their avenue. Well, I'm in it too. I don't want to see that pool of water, because when that pool of water's gone, go to the east branch of the river, look at over the bridge, and that's what you're gonna have.
I'm not.
And I'm not saying it's you, but
And looking for some direction.
we're
put
looking for
so
direction.
much work into this.
I know.
715 compounds on my time sheet. Above and beyond my full.
I
The
understand.
majority of them are from this project, so. Do you understand? I'm about at the end of my, like,
yeah,
and that's fine.
And I don't want you to leave us because of this.
No, I never said.
No, I don't want to.
Leave it,
Yeah.
but I just feel like, make a decision, go with it, and live with it. I mean, we just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
that's
It's been
what
like
I
that
speak
for
of in
4
this.
years.
Go with this circle and then it backs up to this circle and. Yeah, I think Sandy kind of succinctly got it.
But in
There's
previous
something to
times,
check.
we've offered them the opportunity to take it for $1, I think was the number.
Yeah.
And then I said, you know, here's the problem, they're trying to buy a dam. And talk to an attorney call an attorney this afternoon and ask them about buying a dam,
Yeah.
see what their response is. Are you crazy?
but they
How do you
also don't want the
insure it?
liability of it either.
That's why.
Yeah, that's
Well-
true. That's a good statement. Yeah.
So that's the point. They can't get anybody to give them something concrete to say, if we do this, we'll take ownership. You know, when you put it in an LLC or whatever, you get down to the brass tacks, the people that have the money in it. Who's liable for it?
Right,
I don't know who's liable for it. I don't want my name on it, even though it's in my backyard.
yeah,
Well,
But by the same token, we get benefits from it. The county, I'm saying we, don't we?
Some,
Well, some's better than nothing.
yeah.
Some's better than what I'm getting. So, and I understand you, Todd. I'm trying to be understanding about everything, so.
I think you're caught in the middle because your board threw their hands in the air and said, do what you want, and
Have I mishandled this?
you're in the middle of it.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Telling me, Bruce, that you think I mishandled
I
this.
haven't
No.
said you mishandled it. All I'm saying
Okay.
is
This
your
is a
board
pretty
at
reliable
one
source
time
that told
told
me
us, if I can go back in the minutes, your board told us one time, it's ours. Didn't they say that?
I think so.
They did. I know they did. They also told us that over there. The conservation board owns the dam. It's not yours. We don't have to come to you. Then the next thing they did is they come here and want to know what you want to do with your dam. So who the hell owns the dam?
You guys do.
That's the whole point. So
Backing up. If you go to the Army Corps website, it shows Humboldt County Conservation as the owner.
Has the name on it.
DNR. It's misleading, Bruce, at the end of the day.
that's right.
It's you guys.
And that's
And
the
I'm
point.
more than happy to give you that.
I'm not,
responsibility.
and that's all I'm saying is they're the ones that are somewhat the yo-yo.
Okay,
They pull, they come, they're gone, they come,
and I catch the brunt.
and you're in the middle. Then you get this group that says, hey, we have all these bright ideas, let's do it this way.
Again, if that's the way you guys want to go.
I'd like to know at what point. I was evidently sleeping through that series. I don't remember them coming and saying the dam is now Humboldt County's.
They did not do that formally.
It was a what, secret letter left under our courthouse door? I don't know.
I gave you the deed.
Oh, I know, I'm just saying, but I don't remember what year that took place. All of a sudden, it's just like, that's our dam.
Okay, I told you why there was confusion.
I know.
And I'll.
No, you don't have to go, you don't have to go over again. I'm just
They
saying.
said what they did wasn't correct, and I think we have to clarify that. Am
Okay,
I wrong, or?
no, I'm just saying,
So I have.
but years ago, I wasn't here for like 10 years.
Conversation we can have, Fred.
Well, anyway,
If I mishandled it.
you haven't mishandled anything.
Not at all. I think where we're at right now for this discussion is a couple of answers to a couple of questions. And then with the stipulations, because there again, the circle thing goes back, there was
Yeah.
proposal, you bring up, yeah, who in their right mind would buy a dam? If privately, so to speak, and that's a good point. But now that we've looked at, tweak that option, we need to get the answers on that.
Yep.
And you
I mean, I'm just a little shocked that they'd rather have no dam, either dam or no dam, no half dam.
well,
I was shocked. at
then
that.
option two, I was too, I couldn't believe it. I mean, option two would actually bring people to the area for recreation. I just don't get it.
well, but, so take everything into consideration from today and get these questions answered, see what those answers are. Sandy mentioned the stipulations with whatever answers moving forward, and that's what we pursue.
Okay,
So-
so I will withdraw the.
Putting it on hold for now, but this,
Withdraw the
unfortunately, is
grant
probably not an exact done deal
I mean,
today.
it's not like there won't be another grant someday for that.
Yep, I don't think it'll be me writing it.
No, I don't think so.
I don't want it to come out, I don't want it to come out on the radio and in the Humboldt paper that it was a hour and a half of arguing and fighting and. I thought it was good discussion
I thought.
for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the fact that we still seem to be this team and this team. So we're still trying to get the whole thing to come together. That's my opinion. So I'll shut up.
No, I actually thought it went fairly well.
Yep, I agree.
It was more civil than I thought it would be.
Well. And that's the point. So anyway, if we're done,
We're done. Anything else?
you wanna upset the apple cart, go ahead and throw something at us.
Heck,
You're good?
good.
Motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second,
All in favor?
I
aye.
All carried, 10 o'clock.
hardly